some people can also make a decision as far as trade, as far as which way they're gonna trade. Meaning, if the weekly is short, it's just beginning, but the candle on the weekly chart, that very first candle is pretty small. So you can decide to just take only short trades and you don't even worry about the breast up. So what that means, all the long, when it's showing long on the hour, you will let it go. You will just only take just the short. And what you will notice is that the short push, they're paying you a lot more. And right now, the market has been really consolidating as far as all the pairs. I haven't seen a lot of big movement except in the EUR/USD. I saw that it dropped yet last night. The night before it started dropping, it did drop over 100 pips. But now the yen pairs, they're all consolidating. They've been sitting at, they've been pretty much doing maybe about 150 pips, going both ways. So now, the way we do trade, like I said, and the way Alpha would take this trade is that this is going long, this is long, and it turned going short. The price it's showing is 128. It confirmed, the second candle here, it confirmed at 128 pretty much. So Alpha would look to enter the trade right here. But before it enters the trade, what I program Alpha to be able to do is to be able to also look at high and low. And we have the threshold, and I believe it's at 0.665. And in this instance, Alpha will take the trade without any problem, because if you look at high and low, there is lots of selling pressure. It's pretty high, and that would be a great trade for Alpha to take. It will not hesitate to take it. And the other thing that I've also Alpha takes into consideration is stops. Basically, all these are very lined up now. If you see, here's the button right. Here's your first stop button right here. That means all the short, like this short, is gone. Like, I'm just giving you an example. I don't want to go back to that time frame earlier because I'm using a 15-minute chart. Let's see. Okay, here's the long. Was that it? No, there you go. This one. That would be that one right here. I think that's when this short started. It lines up with it perfectly, and it just started dropping. And it kept on going. So Alpha, those are the trades Alpha will be taking. Everything would have to be lined up. From this is what we talk about: the moon, the sun, the most difficult thing to do. All these things has to line up, including we've also added stealth also has to be in line for Alpha to take the trade. If not, it won't take it. Just like anything else, Alpha basically is programmed to take, let's say, to take trades and also to manage it for you. So let's say you happen to get in the trade right here, because I had an interesting question earlier. I was talking to one of our clients. He asked me about stops that banks still see us or stops, and really, I don't really believe that any of us are doing such large sizes or banks are actually going after our trades. If you are short, you at the beginning of the hour, you trust it, you take it. The benefit also to using Alpha to me is to be able to, number one, not think about it. Because even myself when I'm trading, sometimes I'm thinking, well, this is showing short, but this analyst said that the market, this currency is going to go long. And believe me, I've lost a ton of money that way because I'm listening to people telling me what the analyst is saying. Versus when I'm trading using the system, I'm using Alpha, what it's telling me. If Alpha says right here I'm short, I'm taking it short. If it says I'm long, I'm taking it long. And the other thing is Alpha is also set to take trade only based on time. So you can schedule Alpha to take trade only when the market is trending, only when it's open. Like Alpha in my office is set to start taking trade at 10 p.m. and only at the beginning of the hour. So typically the Asian market will start, that will be the end at about 10 o'clock, but there will be a little bit of ranging. Alpha is programmed not to take those trades. Like right now, it's been pushing up, going long. It started going long, I believe. It says here, it went long, it confirmed. It says I don't know, 1200 ounces. What time is that? I really don't know military time. But that's when it turned going long. But it hasn't done very much. But I was in that trade, and I think that it went to, we ended up with, Alpha did not take this trade, but I did it manually myself. I ended up with like, I think, 11 pips. But I noticed it wasn't pushing up. The reason it's not pushing up, it is going against the weekly and the daily. You can program Alpha to only trade only in one direction. If you want to take shorts only, you turn it out. You just tell it to just take shorts. If you want to take both long and short, it's up to you. So all that stuff is programmed within Alpha for you to be able to manage your trade and be successful. Because I was getting all this, a lot of question on basically on when should you use Alpha. So that's basic. Alpha does a lot of stuff. You can tell Alpha to, just like anything else. Hey, the 15 minutes, I'm up 30 pips, close the trade or cut down my lot sizes to reduce my exposures. That's all within your money management. Alpha can talk to it and do all that for you. So I wanted to go over those things very briefly so people can get that. Ultimately, this is very simple, and I don't want people to make it too complicated. That's all we're looking after. We're looking for the big movement to happen. When Cobra changes from a short to a long like it did right here, so we can take the trade. And the other thing that I did, because the market has been ranging so much, I've changed the speed on Alpha on Cobra from a 15 to a 10 because the market has been so tight. What I'm noticing is that if you have it at a 15, for example, let me change this to show you. If we were to go at a 15, we'll be so far out, and we would miss that. But the market is not pushing too much. Most likely, you might even lose some trades. So I changed that to reflect a 15, to reflect it to be 10 versus 15. So that way we can actually get in the beginning of the trade. So the market itself, even if it's not pushing, you're going to be okay. You're still going to get your pips. So if you guys can make the changes on the yen pairs, you're supposed to have it set. Cobra set at 15, so you can have it. You can change it. When the market is not pushing, you have to make the adjustment that you need to make so you can get the most pips possible. So let me go back over here, indicator. So I have it done at 10. So we're getting it at the very beginning. So no matter what happens, you're going to get some pips out of this. Even though it's not pushing very much, it's very slow, you're still going to be okay. So this is, that's the question. A lot of people were asking me exactly. I got all this email on as far as high and low stealth. They all have been incorporated within Alpha, so you can take the trade and feel good about it. What I'm hoping for is that none of us will take a trade and then later on with Alpha, I guess what I'm trying to say is that the biggest advantage to using Alpha is that I'm not allowing people to buy it, just lease it, because it's very precious to me. But the biggest thing to me is the ability for Alpha to take multiple trades. What I've learned is that anytime I gave my traders the ability to call in their own trades, for example, if this were to turn from a short to a long, Alpha knows right here. Look, I'm looking at high and low. It's a pretty big blue candle, and it would have met the threshold. I've seen my traders, they're sitting there, they're asking, and I ask them, why did you not take the trade? And I'll have answers like, well, we were waiting for a pullback. We were waiting to see if pricing would get better. We want to see if it's a good trade. I get so many responds. So by the time they get into it, like right now, the pricing was 127.14. It didn't move very much. They would probably want to try to get in the trade when it's at 127.40. By then, it's a little bit too late. But they have so many excuses, so I do not leave that up to them anymore to make those decisions. The great thing about Alpha, it just takes the trade for you. And the other thing is, it allows for a pullback. For example, if price is too far extended, it will pull back. It will place an entry order within maybe 10 pips of this candle when it first opened. That way, any pullback, you'll be able to get better pricing. I do not allow anyone, any of my traders to take trades anymore. But the biggest advantage to me is to be able to trade multiple pairs. None of us, even some of the most, I guess I'll say most experienced traders, when we are trading and all of a sudden we are in a trade, and let me see if I can find one. Where is it at? I don't know if it's this pair or if it was the EURUSD. I think it was the EURUSD. The other night, let me see if I can find it. This thing has a, let me see, the EURUSD, so I can show you guys this. How is it the USD yen? Let me see. So basically, it changed from a short. Let me see if it was the USD yen. From a short to a long. As yen, euro yen. I think I'm going blind these days because I watch the screen so much. USD yen. Wait. Here we go. Let's see if I can see it. Of course, it's going to take a minute to load up. Then I have to wait for it. So anyways, while I'm waiting for it to load, the biggest advantage is to be able to trade multiple pairs at the same time. Because when there is a change, and if it's going from a, let's assume that we had a fake out, or for example, news came out, it took us short. Let me see if that's it right here. Okay, here we go. That's what I want to show. Look, right here, if you see, Cobra actually changed from a short, it went long, and then it changed again. So if you're in this particular trade, you took that trade right there, even though high and low did not confirm, sometimes we don't look at all those things. But at the time, even though this bar closed, it's really small. But sometimes we do take those trades. We would probably lose about 15 to 20 pips in that trade. Us being an experience, even though, you know, some of us, no matter how experienced we are, when it's ready to go short again, we are so scared because we just got burned for 15, 20 pips. So it's hard for us to take that huge decision to turn around and go short. Well, that's what Alpha does. It doesn't think. It's going to take that trade for you. And the greatest benefit to it is to be able to trade multiple screens. That's what I like the most, because sometimes I'm in a trade and I'm looking and all I hear is like, it tells me I'm in a trade EURUSD. You know, Alpha will tell me. And out of the blue, I'm like, oh my God, do I really want to be in this trade? So that means, hey, tough luck, I'm in it. Deal with it. That's the beauty of it. So it can take the trades for you. It can manage it. And I was getting all these questions, and all this is not. I want to reserve the right to cancel, and I want to tell people that it's a month to month. I don't want to have 6 months lease or a year lease. It's a month to month, and then we'll go from there and see how you guys are doing. And I want to keep it a very tight, well-controlled group of people. And also, I'm releasing a new version of Steam. I'm probably going to be doing that at the end of the week when the market is closed. Steam will be very, very tight, meaning you'll be able to see all the piercing. It's not going to be as wild as it is in this one. It's going to be, I guess, a lot nicer. It's going to be a lot smoother. And the other thing that I'm going to be replacing also are the candles. I'm changing them so that they can reflect true pricing. because sometimes pricing will be so far extended, Alpha will place a trade. Let's say, for example, right now, if it will go in, pricing at the moment is at, let's say, 97.75, and if it was a huge push, it could be extended all the way to, like, I don't know, to like maybe 90, but it's not reflecting true pricing. So I want to change the candles to reflect true pricing. That way, when we're in a trade, whatever the price is, it is exactly that. It's not extended. So when we're doing scalping, so it's perfect. So those are the changes that I'm making on the system. So that way, we can even be more efficient. We can win all our trades. Today, that's what I wanted to talk to you. I want to share with you guys is to allow Alpha to take trades. It takes trades basically on this signal. When Cobra changes from a short to a long, if you want to have it that it's taking it with high and low, that's the way it's going to be. The threshold, you get to set it yourself. We have a default already set, or we're sending it out with that. There is it's fairly simple. It's not complicated, and I did not want people to make it too complicated. And at this particular time, I want to take any questions. Do you guys have any questions on those? Do you guys have any? So I have a question from Terrence. He asked me how well can Alpha scalp. Let me answer that question. I will always go back to this. It depends on, first of all, the time that you're trading. When I'm scalping, I typically like to use the 2-minute chart. And this is one of the reasons I'm going to change the bars to reflect exact pricing. Alpha will take you in the trade. It's taking us to the 2 minutes. That's what I use, and it will just stay there, and it will catch every single pip. Now, you can have your stops, for example, in Alpha. You can have them. You can tell Alpha to close trades every time you're up 10 minutes, go in one direction. Let's say, for example, the hour is long. You want Alpha to only take 10 long trades, and it's pushing. You tell it, hey, every time you're up 10 pips, close it, and then we enter after it's get from short to a long. You can do that all day long. You can do that for you. You can also tell Alpha to take trades, to close your trade every single time you're up 8 pips or 5 pips, go in both directions. So you're up 5 pips short. Like right here, this is the fifth. Let's say this is the one. Okay, this is the 1 minute. You can even tell to take the 1 minute. So basically, you're telling Alpha every single time you see, for example, this is yellow. This is a 1 minute candle. Whenever it sees a yellow candle, when you're up 5 pips, take it, and then wait for a short. Take the 5 pips, close it, and then when it sees, and it keeps going that way. It's all up to you how you set it, but it's very, very efficient. They will tell you that. I do not like to scalp that way because you're gonna get those right here. For example, you're gonna be losing a lot. So it depends on the time when you're trading. Are you trading when it's ranging or when the market is moving? That has a lot to do with it. But as far as scalping, it's built for that. That's basically what I wanted to do. It's for it to scalp. Did that answer your question? Tom said the weekly is short, daily is long. When 1 hour Cobra change, which trade do you take? Do you take long trades because daily is long, or take both? Okay, now that's a good question. Let me see on the USD yen. Here we're looking at, let's see, this is the weekly is short, right? This is the USD yen, and let's pull up the daily. And the daily is long. At the moment, before the weekly changes to a long, before it changes, so the daily has to be long first before it can go short. So right now it's short. So if you are doing position trade right now at the moment, since the weekly is short, really you'd probably want to wait. But if you're just scalping, I would just go in the direction of the daily. But you just have to make sure you just take your pips. There won't be very much push in the long because the weekly is short, because the momentum is short the weekly. That's the bigger picture. So if you're doing position trading, the way that would work, anytime it pushes going long, when you feel like when you notice it's the end of the long, you would place your trade from the top going short, going toward the weekly. But if you're just scalping, you want to get some quick pips. So I would take trades going toward the daily. That's how I would go. I would move forward. You're welcome. Any more questions? So for those of you who are interested in alpha, look, I say this. You guys can test it, it's only within a couple weeks. You will test it out and have a group of people. All we're going to do is working on alpha to make sure whatever you're working on, it's working perfectly for your system. And that's we're going to troubleshoot them, do another team viewer with you guys, because what's important is that you are successful at your trade. And I want people to be able to have trading system, and that's one of the reasons why, like I said to you guys, I moved from the cloud is so that you guys can have multiple screens, be able to do what you need to do. Also, on the cloud, you cannot have alpha. But on this, you can. And a lot of people also were asking about the service fee, and the service fee still represents all the work that I'm doing, all the upgrade that we do. It's just for that. It's just so that you guys can have the upgraded version. And the next thing that I'm gonna be working on, besides changing the candles and also changing, making sure that it reflects true pricing on the candles, and also Steam is working a lot tighter, a lot better. I really want to start moving toward artificial intelligence to make the system better. That's what I do. I do this for, this is my life. I'm always going to trade. We can always talk trades all day long. So if you have questions about trades, you have any suggestions, please let me know. It's getting to 10:30, and I've said I want to keep those webinars to about 30 minutes. So if you guys don't have any more questions, let me know. So I think next week I'm going to be pulling up the alpha charts and go over all of them again. Starting next week, we're going to be talking more alpha, show you guys how to set it up and do all those different things that you need to do with alpha. But right now, just so you know, the same thing you would be doing is that alpha will be doing it for you, but there is no fear. Right here, take the trade, get you in it. If your account can handle it, go into 4 pairs, 3 pairs, 2 pairs, whatever it may be, it will take it. It's up to you to tell alpha what to do. That's what the system is built for. You tell alpha which way, you tell alpha, hey, once I'm up 20 pips on this in this pair, take it. If I'm up 30 on that pair, take it. If I'm up in that's all you have to do, and he will know. Now, the other thing you also have to be aware of is that, like I got caught in that one not too long ago, like maybe a few months ago, was that I was trading the USD, and I think pricing was somewhere around I think it was about 132 or 132. I can't remember now. But anyways, I knew it was overbought. Alpha does not know pricing is overbought. So now it's up to you not to allow it to take trades when prices are too far extended. It won't know it. And this is your job as a trader to say, hey, pricing on, let's say, the EUR/USD is at 136. This thing cannot go past that. Even though it turns going long, it's going to be short-lived. And if you let yourself get caught in that, nothing we can do about it. So you still have to do some homework and know your currency that you are trading. Does that make sense? You still have to do some homework. And this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about artificial intelligence. I'm trying to see if I can teach the system just that when something is overboard, what price it is, and to enter all that stuff into it so you can start computing it. So we're going to get better and better every single day. Do you guys have any more questions for me? Well, I guess not. So if anyone who wants to know, I know I've talked to guys, got a lot of email about people wants to get set up with Alpha. Just send us the email info at Catch the Turn, or Alicia at Catch the Turn. She knows what to do and get you guys all set up. And we're taking people like one at a time because we have to actually go into